If you're a freelance writer who is only focusing on your writing skills, or you're taking courses or classes or doing workshops on just focusing on attracting new clients with your writing skills, you're missing the entire point of running a high earning freelance writing business. I'm Mandy Ellis. I built a 6-figure freelance writing business, and now I help other freelance writers build 5-figure months with dream clients without the stress, burnout, and overwhelm. This is the number one thing that people get wrong. They focus on their writing skills, but they're not actually using an action-oriented framework with streamlined processes and methods. They're trying to do all of this stuff with their writing skills because they think that that will just attract clients to them rather than building a business. You waiting for clients is never going to work. If all things go to shit, that's not going to work long term. That's not going to work in uncertain or down or whatever type of times you want to like talk about in terms of troublesome or it's difficult or whatever. You have to learn the concrete foundation of running a freelance writing business, which means an action first clear framework. That means you are taking actions with the framework. You are understanding how to mix creative, interesting, fun work with making money, with what clients are specifically right for you, without actually sacrificing all of the stuff that comes with stability or sustainability or increasing your cash flow, which happens a lot when you focus on writing first courses. They're teaching you all the skills, just like you would in college, where someone says, oh, you need to learn this and then you get a job. That's not how freelance writing works. If you spend too much time on your writing skills, you're creating a wider gap between your clients and yourself. Every single client is going to be different. And that's why you need to have this action-oriented framework. This action-oriented framework teaches you how to adjust and adapt to different clients, their writing style, their tone. How do you actually work with them? Get examples from them on what you're supposed to be writing. What actually makes a difference for your clients versus just busy work of typing. That's the clear thing that we want to put in place. And we're not doing this thing we're not saying that writing skills aren't important, but I think the emphasis on the writing versus the business strategy is way off. And this really helps you end up getting those new clients every single week or every single month, with the plan in place, that action-oriented framework. You have to be taking action in your business. You can't be waiting. You can't just be creating a portfolio and hope someone comes by. That wouldn't even work if you were a traditional artist, right? If you were a traditional artist, painting or sculpting, you can't just create a portfolio and hope someone comes by. You actually have to do a bunch of work to get your work featured and to get it in an art gallery or to get someone selling it for you, and to build kind of that brand or that name. So I really want you to pay attention to this strategy is the framework, getting a framework in place that is unshakable, that is the thing that's driving all the needle moving activities in your business with processes and systems so that you can save time and money throughout the years rather than just typing away all the time and feeling a lot of fear and anxiety over your writing skills, which may or may not even match, or what samples you create may not match what your ideal clients are looking for. And if you kind of want to learn more about this action-oriented framework, you want to learn how do we put this clear framework in place, I have a free masterclass coming up. It is live. It is coming up in September. If you want to be the first person to learn about it, we're going to be talking about building 5-figure months, really finding those diamond clients, those dream clients, putting the right steps in place, what you should be looking for, what you should be avoiding, and a bunch of concrete pieces in place. Um, if you want to be the first to hear about that, grab my free seasoned veteran cheat sheet. So if you go to mandyellis.com/cheat sheet, you can grab it. You'll be the first to hear about the free live masterclass in September. And that's where we're going to go over a bunch of things in this action-oriented framework. The other thing I want to mention here, number two, you want to make sure that when you're going through this, you're not getting a copy paste version. So when you are getting new clients every week, you want to make sure that you're learning a strategy that's not just copy paste to be like somebody else. I always teach my students that I don't want you to be mini Mandys. I want you to be more of you. The more you I can make you, the better off we are for you finding your better clients in terms of personality fit and projects and where they align with your goals. This is the thing about teaching this strategy too, is like there's no gatekeeping, there's no fluff. It's really down to the nitty-gritty of getting behind the scenes about what would actually make you you. What can we focus on in terms of your skills, your knowledge, your expertise, all of the things that you have done in your writing or non-writing experience, and how does that apply to getting clients? And we're getting clients in very specific ways. We're doing things ethically. We're making sure that it's not generic stuff. We're making sure that we're focusing on relationship building versus just quick hits of cash, because quick hits of cash are just like any other sugar rush. It's not going to last for a long time, and you're going to be continually searching for these short-term little bits of cash here and there that don't create long-term stability or sustainability in your business. So what I want you to look for when you're creating this framework is you should be driving more towards you. You should be driving your business and how you want to run it, the types of clients you're looking for and how you align with them, the personality traits that you want to look for in your clients beyond the stats of revenue of your clients. What niche are they in? What projects are they focusing on? And really doing that in an ethical way, like sending those LOIs, those letters of introduction, and your pitches out in an ethical way that is focusing on being generous or helping someone or relationship building. That's the key. That's what attracts these new clients over and over and over again. Number 3 here, we want to make sure that when we're putting a strategy in place, this strategy has results-driven processes. So they are put in a step-by-step framework or something that is field tested. So when I teach my Wealth Lab students, I'm teaching them a results-driven framework. This is something that has gotten results for me, for my students. It is client and student tested. I've tested it for, over a decade. Or about a decade in my own business. I've tested it through a ton of students. And this is something that is results driven based on the data. So the data on what your response rate should be, the data on client revenue ranges and when you should adjust those, when we should look at them, what we should look at per niche. Data on things like niches that are different between cake and icing. And that's something I teach in the Wealth Lab is cake are like these big niches that have hundreds of thousands or millions of clients. They always have ongoing work. And then there's icing that could be fun or creative projects for you. They may not have as many clients, but we have this really nice balance going on in our business between all the types of writing or all the niches that you want to focus on or all the types of clients. So when you're kind of doing this, you need these results driven processes, these things that have been in the trenches, these things that have been battle tested along the way. And you have this blueprint that adapts to where you are. It adapts to your starting point. So I've taught students who have no writing experience at all. They have never written at all in their lives. They want to become a writer. They have no experience, and they get their first clients and their first sets of cash. They get their first retainers. I've had people who leave their 9 to 5 like I did, or who were side hustling and then left their 9 to 5. I've had students do that. I've had students who have been struggling as a freelance writer for 10 or 20 years, really struggling to get over a certain income level or struggling with the sustainability or with certain clients. I've helped them earn more and finally work less, work fewer hours per week. That's the deal, is you want this blueprint that adapts to where you're starting from and what makes sense. And then you take that to build that concrete foundation piece by piece. So you know exactly how to find those diamond clients. Where are you looking? How often are you looking? How many LOIs or pitches do you need to send per month? Or what do you need to look for in a top client for you specifically? Not just a top client, but something for you specifically, honing that around what you're looking for, how to actually charge top rates, and how to actually pick numbers that make you a little bit nervous versus worrying about what clients are doing and what their budget is and all that stuff. And really understanding that at a deep level, what I call the tuning fork technique, which is getting a connection with clients who value you and your work. You're on the same level. You are operating on the same level, these high paying clients, versus feeling like you have to keep working really hard to get them to pay attention, or that they're, not valuing the relationship. They think they can just do it with AI, or paying attention to other things when you're on a meeting with them. So really deeply understanding how high paying clients operate versus maybe the clients you've been working with. And it's these results driven processes. They are driven by data, but they're also driven by actually getting results. They have been field tested by me, my students, and the clients I've had this, and the clients my students have had. Number 4 here, when you're putting a strategy in place, it should not be niche or project dependent. This is a big mistake. It's like exactly how I started this video, where people focus on their writing skills versus actually building a business that lasts for long term so you can keep writing. If you don't have money and clients, you can't keep writing. That's the problem. So a lot of times I will have students come in and into the Wealth Lab, into Freelance Writer Wealth Lab, which opens in September. uh, and ask like, oh, do I have to be in this high earning niche? Someone told me somewhere that I had to be in this high earning niche, or that I had to only do this strategy, or that I could only do these things. And that's just not true. Like, these are things that I teach that are not niche dependent. That's why I teach people cake and icing. And I learned cake and icing as in terms of niches and projects the hard way. I learned it when I burned out really badly in 2018, and I had to take 3 months off, and I was sleeping like 13 hours a night to recover. So like, this is something where if it says you only can do these things, you only these niches or only these projects, that's a big mistake. Freelance writing is about opportunities. That's why we build our businesses. We have so many different things that we can choose to do. And if I can teach you really the consistent strategies and that help you see the kaleidoscope of options available to you, we're in good shape. You will have so many different options, and you can actually narrow it down. You won't feel overwhelmed. You won't feel like you have decision fatigue. It will become clear to you which path that you need to take, but it also doesn't make you feel limited, like you can only do one thing. So I want you to really remember, I want you to really remember that it's not about just like a high earning niche, or this type of client or this type of project. That doesn't work long term. People get burned out. People get tired of it. People don't see success with it because they're just doing it because they think that's the only thing they should do. And it's just something where we need variety. This is kind of how freelance writers operate. Almost all of us need variety. That's why we like doing what we're doing. So I feel like if you need variety, right? If you want to learn more about the variety that we can have as a freelance writer, make sure to subscribe. We go over that a lot here, talking about the different types of options in terms of marketing and projects and clients and all the different cool paths you can take. So if you feel like this has been helpful, subscribe so far. And the last thing that we are talking about, which I think is number five, yeah, I really want to talk about sustainability. This is something that is a huge problem where I have come across a lot of courses or other strategies that talk about, yeah, you need to post daily or weekly on LinkedIn or social media. So give me a thumbs up if you've had someone tell you, like, without posting on social media, you're never going to have clients. Give me a thumbs up. I want you to really understand that when I'm teaching my Wealth Lab students that this specific strategy, this is how they earn more in less time. They're not spending time on social media. That is phase 3 or 4 of a process I'm teaching them. So I teach them this specific strategy that has about 4 to 5 phases depending on your goals. And about phase 3, after you've already done a bunch of things for a while, then you can decide if you want to post on social media or you want to write thought leadership on LinkedIn. But when you are building a business for longevity and you're not building a fly by night operation that's like, please, someone see this post in their feed, or someone come across this article, like, that's waiting. That's waiting. That's not what a lot of high earning freelance writers do. High earning freelance writers are going after the work. They're sending the LOIs, they're sending the pitches, they're reaching out, they're following up on warm leads, they're doing all those things that are very active marketing. Passive marketing is posting something and hoping someone sees it and then they take the action. You're putting the onus of action on the client. That's not a good strategy. The strategies that I'm teaching are actually building you in to understand who you're looking for, find those quicker, and then reach out quicker so you can get back to paid work. So this is something where you understand why clients, like what you're offering to clients, how you can help them, the value that you're offering, and then you are continuing to build these long-term relationships because you know what you're looking for. You're not just waiting for some rando to find your post and then reach out, and then you hope the person that found your post is a diamond client or a dream client. You hope the person that reached out has a budget, right? We need to know stuff so that we are hand selecting the right clients to reach out to. I call this my pre-filtering process. But the pre-filtering process part of the strategy is you really understanding what you're looking for so you can find it quicker, so you can send things out, so you can do more tests, so you can finally get away from feast and famine. You have this ongoing pipeline of clients, you have this ongoing flow of work, you have these long-term relationships, versus posting on social media on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever. Usually the option is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best platform, I think, for freelance writers. But it's that randomness isn't going to work. That's passive marketing. Yes, you can do that later once you've already done a bunch of active marketing pieces. But I'm not teaching people to daily or weekly post on LinkedIn, and there's still some of them hit six figures. Some of them are working 20 to 30 hours a week, some of them 35 hours a week with high earning businesses. And these are things where they're not having feast and famine. They're stuffed with work. They're working on projects they actually want to work on. They take vacation. That's the part of the strategy that's active. That's the from the very beginning of this, right? We were talking about our action first clear framework. Those actions are the things we focus on because that's what we can control. When everything is going to shit, or when you're worried, or when you're stressed, and you might be feeling like a lot of things are going on right now, this is the thing. When we have those action oriented clear steps to take, that is the stuff that gets rid of fear and overwhelm and stress and feeling like you have to do 100 things at once. There's these 4 or 5 needle moving activities. Sometimes it's only 2 or 3 depending on your goals. There's only a handful of needle moving activities you need to focus on. Instead of worrying about waiting for someone to see something, you can continue to take action. You can control what you can control. You know that every single day you are taking a step forward in your business. That's the key. You're not waiting, you're not hoping. You every single day are taking a step forward in your business. And then you have clients where you can learn writing skills, right? You can look at the example they're giving you and follow the example. If someone says, "Hey, can you do this case study?" You're like, "Yes." And then you figure out how to do a case study. They give you an example. A lot of times, this learning on the fly or getting our writing skills when someone asks about it, or learning from an example, can really help us move up to speed faster than someone going through, like, what is an independent and dependent clause? Why would we do this kind of lead? Like the things that your clients aren't really, they're not super super like concerned about that. They're concerned about you matching the example. They're concerned about you following the format that they want. So I hope that this has been helpful. The next time we're going to talk more about building confidence and really not focusing on doing everything fast. The faster part does not lead to sustainability. So we're going to go over that next time. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.